genuine love is like, and I am young and still figuring things out, and I think you find someone that is helping you learn this life thing at the same time.
Angel Reese has been linked to several NBA players over the past few years. Some of those relationships have been publicly confirmed, while others existed only as internet rumors that spread across social media before anyone involved had a chance to respond. By now, most sports fans recognize Angel Reese's name. But behind the viral photos, Instagram speculation, TikTok breakdowns, and non-stop online theories, there's a much bigger story. Some of the headlines turned out to be accurate. Others were fueled almost entirely by fan speculation. In one case, Reese even addressed the rumors herself on her podcast to clear up the confusion. Today, we are breaking down the full story, from her confirmed relationship to the NBA dating rumors that gained traction during the Olympic break, the courtside appearances that had fans playing detective, and why virtually every photo of Angel Reese standing next to an NBA player instantly becomes national sports news. To understand why these stories attract so much attention, you first have to understand how Angel Reese became one of the biggest stars in basketball. Reese grew up in Randallstown, Maryland, just outside Baltimore, where she quickly established herself as one of the nation's top high school prospects. A McDonald's All-American and the No. 2 recruit in her class according to ESPN, she arrived at the University of Maryland as the highest-ranked recruit in program history. After 2 seasons with the Terrapins, Reese transferred to LSU, a move that transformed her career. Playing under head coach Kim Mulkey, she developed into one of the most dominant players in women's college basketball. She earned unanimous first-team All-America honors, set the single-season rebounding record, and helped lead LSU to its first NCAA Women's Basketball Championship in 2023. Her performance throughout the tournament earned her the Most Outstanding Player award and elevated her into one of the most recognizable athletes in the country. Rather than slowing down, Reese followed that championship season with another outstanding year, averaging 18.6 points and 13.4 rebounds per game, while once again leading the SEC in both categories. She was named SEC Player of the Year before declaring for the 2024 WNBA draft. The Chicago Sky selected Reese with the 7th overall pick, and she wasted little time making an impact at the professional level. During her rookie season, she set the WNBA single-season rebounding record, proving that her success in college could translate to the highest level of the game. As her profile continued to grow, so did public interest in her personal life. Every courtside appearance, every social media post, and every interaction with another high-profile athlete began generating headlines. That combination of basketball success, celebrity status, and constant online attention is exactly why so many dating rumors have followed Angel Reese, and why fans continue trying to separate confirmed facts from internet speculation. Angel Reese's success didn't stop when she reached the WNBA. During her rookie season, she became the first player in league history to record 20 or more rebounds in 3 consecutive games, earned her first WNBA All-Star selection, and set the record for the most double-doubles by a rookie. Those accomplishments quickly established her as one of the league's brightest young stars. At the same time, Reese was building one of the most recognizable personal brands in all of women's sports. Even before beginning her professional career, she had secured major endorsement deals with some of the world's biggest companies. One of her most notable partnerships came with Reebok, where she signed after being recruited by the company's president of basketball, NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal. That deal was followed by collaborations with brands including Amazon, Coach, Bose, Cash App, McDonald's, Victoria's Secret, and several others, expanding her influence well beyond the basketball court. Reese also launched her own podcast, Unapologetically Angel, giving fans a closer look at her life while discussing sports, business, fashion, and culture with high-profile guests. Her growing popularity led to features in major publications such as Vogue, and she made history by becoming the first professional athlete to walk in the Victoria's Secret fashion show. Her social media presence grew just as quickly. By early 2025, Reese had amassed millions of followers on Instagram, becoming one of the most influential athletes of her generation. That popularity translated into the marketplace as well. When Reebok released her first signature sneaker, the Angel Reese 1, demand was so strong that the initial release reportedly sold out almost immediately. By this point, Angel Reese had become much more than a basketball star. She had established herself as a major figure in sports, fashion, business, and popular culture. With that level of visibility came constant public attention, not only to her performances on the court, but also to her friendships, public appearances, and personal life. That's why even the smallest interaction with another high-profile athlete can quickly become a trending topic across social media and sports headlines. With a public profile as large as Angel Reese's, even the smallest interaction can spark major headlines. When one of the biggest stars in women's basketball is seen alongside an NBA player, social media rarely waits for confirmation. Instead, speculation spreads almost instantly, with fans piecing together photos, videos, and social media posts to build their own narrative. That became especially clear in what would eventually become Reese's first publicly confirmed relationship. The timeline begins in May 2025, during Angel Reese's 23rd birthday celebration. Among the guests was Orlando Magic forward center Wendell Carter Jr. Fans quickly noticed that he wasn't simply attending the party, he was seen filming Reese throughout the celebration, prompting widespread speculation that the two were more than friends. The rumors only intensified over the following months. During WNBA All-Star Weekend in July 2025, Carter was photographed wearing a shirt featuring Angel Reese, a gesture many fans interpreted as another sign that the pair shared a close relationship. By September, Reese posted photos and videos showing several luxury flower arrangements she had received. Although she didn't identify the sender, fans focused on a handwritten note expressing pride in everything she had accomplished and encouraging her by saying she was just scratching the surface. The message quickly fueled even more discussion online. A few months later, Reese added to the speculation by posting a TikTok while wearing Orlando Magic apparel. By then, many fans believed the relationship was becoming increasingly difficult to hide. The biggest confirmation came during an appearance by Wendell Carter Jr. on FanDuel TV's Run It Back. When asked directly about the dating rumors, Carter chose not to avoid the question. Instead, he indicated that people would learn more in due time before making it clear that Angel Reese was his girl and that the two were locked in. Reese soon reacted on social media with a brief but unmistakable response, effectively ending months of speculation. After weeks of fans trying to connect the dots, the relationship was finally confirmed, turning what had once been internet rumor into public fact. Once the relationship was confirmed, there was no need for a formal announcement or elaborate reveal. By December 2025, the speculation had largely disappeared. Angel Reese was regularly spotted courtside at Orlando Magic games, with multiple public appearances reinforcing what fans already believed. Around the same time, Reese shared a photo of herself holding hands while wearing a jersey that read, "My Man." Wendell Carter Jr. responded in his own subtle way, posting content that included a reference to Reese's Chicago Sky jersey number. Angel joined the conversation in the comments, and the exchange left little doubt about where the relationship stood. One of the most noticeable aspects of their relationship has been how naturally they've handled it. Rather than staging a high-profile announcement, they allowed the story to develop gradually. They supported each other publicly without turning every appearance into a media event, choosing to acknowledge the relationship only when they felt comfortable doing so. That support continued into January 2026, when Reese reportedly traveled overseas to watch Carter and the Orlando Magic during their international games in Berlin and London. For many fans, those trips spoke louder than any social media caption, demonstrating the effort both were willing to make despite their demanding professional schedules. Carter has also spoken about what makes their relationship work. According to him, they share the same competitive mindset, giving them a unique understanding of the pressures that come with being professional athletes. From long seasons and constant travel to media attention and public expectations, both understand the challenges the other faces. That shared perspective is especially valuable when both partners compete at the highest level of their respective sports. Balancing training, games, travel, endorsements, and public appearances leaves little free time, making mutual understanding an important part of the relationship. Throughout that period, Reese continued attending Magic games, often drawing attention with her courtside appearances, while Carter regularly showed his support for her career. Whether through social media interactions, public appearances, or simply making time to support one another despite busy schedules, the relationship appeared to grow naturally. Taken together, those moments created a picture that felt authentic rather than carefully orchestrated. Instead of relying on grand public gestures, Reese and Carter let their consistent support for one another tell the story, earning praise from many fans who appreciated how genuine the relationship appeared. Many fans now consider Angel Reese and Wendell Carter Jr. one of the most recognizable young couples in professional basketball. As both continue to build successful careers, their profile as a sports power couple is likely to grow even further. But before Carter entered the picture, there was another story that dominated social media, one built almost entirely on internet speculation rather than public confirmation. That brings us to the rumors involving Detroit Pistons center Jalen Duren during the summer of 2024. At the time, Duren was one of the NBA's brightest young prospects, while Reese was emerging as one of the biggest new stars in women's basketball. During the WNBA's Olympic break, both athletes were enjoying time away from competition when social media users began noticing something unusual. Reese shared photos from what appeared to be a vacation. Around the same time, Duren posted images that many fans believed were taken from the exact same destination. Within hours, internet detectives began comparing every available detail. They analyzed backgrounds, scenery, the color of the water, posting times, and even small visual clues in an attempt to determine whether the two had traveled together. When Reese was later seen wearing Detroit Pistons merchandise, many online users viewed it as another piece of evidence supporting their theory. The speculation spread rapidly across X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and sports blogs. Before long, the rumor had taken on a life of its own, with many posts discussing the pair as though the relationship had already been confirmed. However, that's where an important distinction often disappeared. Despite the widespread speculation, neither Angel Reese nor Jalen Duren ever publicly confirmed that they were romantically involved. No official statement, interview, or social media post established that they were dating. Much of the online conversation was driven by fan observations and assumptions rather than verified information. The episode became a clear example of how quickly speculation can turn into perceived fact when it involves two high-profile athletes. In Reese's case, her growing celebrity meant that even a few similar vacation photos were enough to spark weeks of discussion, despite the absence of any public confirmation from either person involved. Neither Angel Reese nor Jalen Duren ever addressed the dating rumors directly. There was no public statement, no confirmation, and no acknowledgement that they were anything more than two athletes connected by internet speculation. As a result, the entire narrative existed in the gap between what fans believed and what was actually confirmed. Similar vacation photos, overlapping timelines, and a handful of social media clues became the foundation of a story that spread rapidly despite the absence of verified evidence. The rumors might have faded away had they not resurfaced in 2026. After Wendell Carter Jr. publicly confirmed his relationship with Reese, the Orlando Magic and Detroit Pistons were matched up in the first round of the NBA playoffs. That coincidence revived online discussion because Carter was now facing a player many fans had previously, and without confirmation, linked to Reese. When Reese later shared highlights of Carter during the series, some social media users interpreted the posts as playful support for her boyfriend, while others connected them back to the old rumors involving Duran. The playoff matchup gave new life to a story that had never been publicly verified in the first place. Even with the renewed attention, one fact remained unchanged: neither Reese nor Duran ever confirmed that they had been in a romantic relationship. The episode became another example of how internet speculation can continue long after the original rumor has faded, especially when high-profile athletes are involved. The next rumor followed a very different path. This time, the name was Kevin Durant. The speculation began during the summer of 2024, when Reese attended a Team USA women's basketball exhibition game against Germany. Cameras captured her sitting courtside next to Durant, and within hours, photos of the two were circulating across social media. That brief interaction was enough for some online users to begin speculating about a possible relationship. In reality, the entire rumor stemmed from one seating arrangement at a basketball game. As the conversation gained momentum, Reese chose to address it directly on the debut episode of her podcast, Unapologetically Angel. Rather than allowing the speculation to continue, she dismissed it completely, explaining that there had never been a romantic connection between her and Durant. Reese said the seating arrangement had been purely coincidental. She explained that one of her friends was sitting next to Stephen Curry, Durant happened to be seated nearby, and the internet turned an ordinary moment into a viral rumor. She also shared the context many fans had overlooked. Reese has long admired Durant as a basketball player, describing him as one of her childhood favorites. Both grew up in the DMV region, covering Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, which gave her another reason to respect his career. For Reese, it was simply an opportunity to sit near one of the players she had looked up to for years. For social media, however, it quickly became another example of how an ordinary interaction involving two famous athletes can evolve into a headline that bears little resemblance to the actual story. Reese explained that her admiration for Kevin Durant goes back to childhood. She spoke about watching him play, seeing his mother support him at games throughout the DMV area, and developing tremendous respect for both his career and his character. For her, Durant has always been a role model and one of her favorite players, not a romantic interest. That should have settled the speculation, but the story took another unexpected turn. In March 2025, during a Women's Empowerment Month media session, Phoenix Suns players were asked to name their favorite female athlete. While many teammates mentioned established icons such as Diana Taurasi and Serena Williams, Kevin Durant gave an answer that surprised many fans: Angel Reese. The comment quickly reignited the rumors Reese had already dismissed months earlier. Social media users began speculating all over again, with some claiming Durant's answer meant more than it appeared. Others insisted he was revealing hidden feelings, despite Reese having already publicly denied any romantic connection. In reality, Durant's response could just as easily be viewed as recognition of one of the fastest rising stars in basketball. By that point, Reese had become one of the most recognizable young athletes in the sport, making her a reasonable answer to the question without implying anything beyond admiration for her accomplishments. The episode highlighted something much larger than the individuals involved. A rumor began from a single courtside photo. Reese publicly denied it on her own podcast. Months later, an unrelated interview brought the speculation back into the spotlight, demonstrating how quickly social media can revive old narratives regardless of whether new evidence exists. The situation also revealed how celebrity culture often operates. Engagement frequently matters more than verification. Even when one of the people involved directly rejects a rumor, speculation can continue if it generates enough attention online. Those experiences appear to have influenced how Reese approaches her personal life today. Before her relationship with Wendell Carter Jr. became public, Reese had already experienced what it was like to date while living in the spotlight. Her previous high-profile relationship was with basketball player Cameron Fletcher, who played at Florida State before transferring to High Point University. After roughly a year together, Reese confirmed in March 2024 that the relationship had ended. Speaking openly during an Instagram live session, she explained that maintaining a relationship while both partners lived under constant public attention had been challenging. She acknowledged that social media scrutiny and the pressure that comes with having two public profiles made the experience more difficult than it otherwise might have been. That chapter appears to have shaped her approach moving forward. When her relationship with Wendell Carter Jr. eventually became public, Reese chose a much more measured path, allowing the relationship to develop privately before confirming it on her own terms rather than responding to every rumor as it surfaced. Later in 2024, Reese shared a candid message about how she intended to handle her personal life moving forward. She wrote that she had come to understand why so many public figures choose to keep their relationships private, and said she no longer planned to share that part of her life publicly until she was married, explaining that the attention and scrutiny had simply become overwhelming. She stayed true to that approach. Her relationship with Wendell Carter Jr. unfolded gradually through subtle public moments rather than carefully planned announcements. Fans noticed birthday appearances, supportive social media posts, courtside visits, and small interactions long before either of them publicly acknowledged the relationship. Even when it was eventually confirmed in late 2025, it happened naturally during a television interview rather than through a coordinated media campaign. Reese expressed a similar outlook during a conversation with former First Lady Michelle Obama on the Wnba podcast. When asked what she values in a relationship, Reese explained that she wants someone who sees her as a person, not as the celebrity version of herself that exists online. She emphasized the importance of finding someone who isn't captivated by fame or social media, but instead values the person behind the public image. That perspective reflects the reality of living with millions of followers. As Reese's audience expanded from hundreds of thousands to several million across social media platforms, her public identity grew into something much larger than basketball alone. Maintaining a healthy separation between her real life and her online persona has required a conscious and consistent effort. For many athletes with that level of visibility, maintaining privacy becomes increasingly difficult. Reese, however, has largely managed to set her own boundaries and reveal personal milestones only when she felt ready, rather than responding to constant public speculation. The broader question is why her personal life attracts so much attention in the first place. The answer extends well beyond basketball. Angel Reese appeals to multiple audiences simultaneously. She is a WNBA All-Star known for her dominance on the court. She has established herself as a fashion figure by appearing in major campaigns and walking the Victoria's Secret fashion show. She hosts a successful podcast, has secured partnerships with leading global brands, and has built a massive social media following. Her appearances in publications such as Vogue and participation in major cultural events have expanded her reach far beyond sports. Because she occupies so many different spaces at once, nearly every public appearance generates interest across multiple communities. A single photo can be discussed by basketball fans, fashion followers, entertainment media, podcast audiences, and social media users all at the same time. That unique crossover appeal helps explain why even routine interactions with other high-profile athletes can quickly become national headlines. Whether the story involves a confirmed relationship, a friendship, or simply a courtside photo, the attention reflects Reese's growing influence as much as it does public curiosity. In today's sports landscape, she is no longer viewed solely as a basketball player. She has become one of the most recognizable crossover stars in American sports and popular culture. That crossover appeal makes Angel Reese unique. She exists at the intersection of basketball, fashion, entertainment, and social media, with each audience bringing its own level of interest and investment. As a result, even the smallest interaction, a courtside seat, overlapping vacation posts, or a complimentary comment during a media interview, can quickly be interpreted as evidence of a relationship. That isn't simply coincidence. It's the reality of being a public figure whose influence extends across multiple industries. When someone reaches Reese's level of visibility, different fan communities begin following every move, often creating narratives long before the facts are known. And that leads to an important point that applies not only to Reese, but to public figures in general. There is a significant difference between a confirmed relationship and an internet assumption. With Wendell Carter Jr., the relationship eventually moved well beyond speculation. Carter publicly referred to Reese as his girl during a television interview. Reese responded publicly. She regularly attended Orlando Magic games, traveled internationally to support him, and shared moments from their relationship on social media, including a photo of the two holding hands while she wore a jersey reading, "My man." Those were public actions and statements made by the people directly involved. The situation involving Jalen Duren was fundamentally different. Although fans pointed to similar vacation photos, overlapping timelines, and Reese wearing Detroit Pistons merchandise, neither Reese nor Duren ever publicly confirmed they were dating. The narrative grew from circumstantial observations rather than verified information, spreading because it generated attention, not because it had been established as fact. The rumors involving Kevin Durant followed a similar pattern, but ended even more quickly. A single courtside seating arrangement sparked widespread speculation before Reese addressed it herself on her podcast. She explained that there had never been a romantic relationship, clarifying that Durant had simply been seated nearby, and that she had admired him for years as one of her favorite players. Taken together, these three stories illustrate how differently public narratives can unfold. One relationship was eventually confirmed by both people involved. The other two remained rumors despite attracting enormous attention online. In today's social media landscape, speculation often travels faster than confirmation. But when separating fact from rumor, the most reliable source remains the same: what the people involved actually say and do, not what the internet assumes. A simple courtside seating arrangement became a dating rumor within hours. Reese addressed the speculation herself on the debut episode of her podcast, making it clear that there had never been a romantic relationship. Yet the correction never spread as widely as the original rumor. Months later, an unrelated comment from Kevin Durant reignited the same speculation, proving how quickly old narratives can return online. That pattern says as much about social media as it does about the people involved. Rumors often travel faster than verified information, and speculation frequently generates more engagement than corrections. For someone with Angel Reese's level of visibility, even publicly denying a rumor can keep it circulating because the denial itself becomes another headline. Stepping back, the bigger picture is clear. Angel Reese has become one of the fastest rising stars in professional basketball. She won a national championship in college, rewrote WNBA record books during the early stages of her professional career, and built one of the strongest personal brands in women's sports. On the court, she has established herself as one of the league's premier rebounders, while off the court she has become a major presence in fashion, business, podcasting, and social media. By every public indication, she is also in a confirmed relationship with Wendell Carter Jr., one that both have acknowledged through their own words and actions while continuing to support each other's careers. At the same time, the internet continues to operate the way it always has. A shared vacation destination becomes a dating rumor. A courtside seat becomes a headline. A simple compliment in an interview becomes the basis for a new round of speculation. Stories can take on a life of their own even when the people involved have already provided a clear explanation. That isn't unique to Angel Reese. It's increasingly common for high-profile athletes and celebrities whose every public appearance is examined through the lens of social media. The difference is that Reese's influence spans multiple audiences at once, meaning every interaction reaches basketball fans, entertainment media, fashion followers, and millions of social media users simultaneously. When separating fact from speculation, however, the distinction remains straightforward. A confirmed relationship comes from the people involved choosing to acknowledge it. Everything else should be treated as exactly what it is, unverified speculation, until credible evidence says otherwise. In Reese's case, the confirmed story is her relationship with Wendell Carter Jr. Much of the rest reflects how quickly online narratives can grow, spread, and persist long after the facts have been made clear. That is what happens when celebrity collides with today's attention economy. In many cases, relationship rumors begin not because of confirmed information, but because social media users connect a series of unrelated moments and allow the algorithm to amplify them. The story spreads first, while the facts often arrive much later, if they arrive at all. Angel Reese's experience illustrates that dynamic perfectly. Sometimes the speculation eventually proves accurate. A player attends her birthday celebration, publicly supports her, confirms the relationship on television, and the two continue showing up for one another in ways that leave little room for doubt. Other times, however, the entire narrative is built on circumstantial details, a similar vacation backdrop, a courtside seat, or a brief public interaction. Those stories can continue circulating long after the people involved have denied them or never confirmed them in the first place. Recognizing the difference between those situations matters. A confirmed relationship is supported by the words and actions of the people involved. A rumor, no matter how widely shared, remains speculation until credible evidence says otherwise. Looking back at the stories surrounding Angel Reese, the distinctions are clear. Her relationship with Wendell Carter Jr. was eventually acknowledged publicly by both of them. The rumors involving Kevin Durant were directly addressed and denied by Reese herself. The speculation surrounding Jalen Duren, despite resurfacing multiple times, has never been publicly confirmed by either person. Together, those examples paint a broader picture of how celebrity culture works in the social media era. Public curiosity, viral content, and online engagement can keep unverified stories alive long after the facts have been established. For athletes with Reese's level of visibility, every public appearance has the potential to become a headline. As Angel Reese's career continues to grow, that attention is unlikely to disappear. Her influence now extends well beyond basketball into fashion, business, entertainment, and popular culture, making her one of the most recognizable young athletes in the country. With that visibility comes increased public interest, but it also highlights the importance of separating confirmed information from speculation. In Reese's case, some stories have been verified, others have been firmly denied, and a few continue to circulate without evidence. Understanding those differences provides a much clearer picture than the rumors alone ever could. One thing, however, is becoming increasingly clear: Angel Reese's story is still in its early chapters. Whether it's her basketball career, business ventures, or growing cultural influence, she continues to expand her impact, and as that happens, public interest in every aspect of her life is likely to grow right alongside it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments which sports story you'd like us to cover next.